Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is good today. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I really appreciate it. Shout out to all the subscribers. Big up to anyone new. Gratitude to you. Don't sleep on Ryan. Shout out to the subscriber, I think he is, that left that comment in my post-fight or pre-fight prediction, which I got completely wrong. I did sleep on Ryan. I slept on this fight. I didn't really watch the build-up that much, but nonetheless, it was actually a really entertaining fight. There was a lot of action. Obviously, Devin Haney getting dropped 3 times. Congratulations to Ryan Garcia. Irrespective of the weight, the fight still went ahead and he did what he had to do in a good performance, I guess. There were a lot of flaws in it, but he was always dangerous from the opening bell with that left hook. That was something that was quite shocking to me, to see how Devin Haney didn't appear to have that same level of alert or not fear is the wrong word, just full awareness that that left hook is a fight-changing punch and could end the fight at any moment, let alone change it. And it did change the fight several times, especially in the first 35 seconds. It didn't change the fight, but you know, he really set the tempo right then. And actually, Devin Haney, oddly enough, on his best punch, he came out with a jab, and he threw what I've heard people talk to now refer to as a bow and arrow jab, right? Where you're jabbing, and when you jab, you want to push the front shoulder forward, but when you push the front shoulder forward, the back shoulder drops back, which drops the hand back like that. Hence the you know, bow and arrow, like Legolas from Lord of the Rings, right? So when you're jabbing like that in front of someone that's got a left hook, well, you're going to get cracked with a left hook if he's throwing the punch at the same time, which he did.
Strikes early. Driving Haney's got the power quick.
And I just made a video about counterpunching and the art of counterpunching, and basically saying, you know, well, using Roy Jones as a quote, the best time to hit a guy is when he's punching. And I also alluded to the fact that counter punchers are actually fully aware that they could get tagged, but they're going to land their shot too, probably. And that's exactly what happened. He got hit with a nice clean jab. Devin Haney pulled the bow and arrow back, left his glove started to come back a little bit, got clipped on the jaw, wobbled back into the ropes. And, you know, like I said, that set the tempo. But even then, even after that, Haney was making so many mistakes with regards to dropping his hands, exchanging with Garcia, not really trying to circle away from that left hook. I don't know how many times he got caught with that left hook, but he was in punching range far too much, dropping his hands far too much. He was still doing the bow and arrow jab even after he got clipped. So there's a lack of intelligence there. There's a lack of making adjustments. I know Haney finally did get Garcia under control a little bit, between like 2 and 7. He still got clipped a few times in the 6th, I think. Then he got dropped in the 7th by another left hook. It's really crazy. You know, it's kind of actually, in the boxing, like higher ups, they would say that's frowned upon. When you keep getting hit with the same shot, it's a massive no-no, especially for somebody like Devin Haney. And, you know, I wonder if just that first left hook and just the whole, just Garcia's presence, his size was a big factor, I think. Obviously, he came in 3 pounds over. I'm not sure how much he came in on the night, but he certainly looked like a big dude in there. But, my gosh, you know, those punches he just whips out there with speed and power are just neutralizers. They really are. He was smothering quite a bit of his work, Garcia, at times. The referee obviously had a nightmare. Garcia was doing that, this shoulder roll. I just shouldn't even really call it that, but it was an exciting, crazy fight, which was kind of what nobody expected, but at the same time we did expect it, because we didn't know what to expect, because the lead up was so chaotic. It was so crazy. But Devin Haney, I felt, fought a really poor fight. Because I feel like, you know, if you watch how Tank fought Garcia, right, the level of alertness and the concentration and the understanding what kind of a factor the punch power Garcia and danger Garcia brought. Tank fought like, I cannot make a mistake. I cannot make a mistake. You know, he's obviously leading with that lead jab. But if you look at Tank's eyes, the concentration levels are night and day between how he fought Garcia a drained Garcia. I'd love to talk about what these fighters are going to do next, because I'd love to see that rematch without any hydration clause. But nonetheless, fair play to Garcia. He did what he had to do. Obviously, he gassed out quite a little bit early on, and I was mentioning pre-fight, one of the very few things I got right. I was like, he's going to have to fight in spots. You know, wouldn't suggest he should come out guns blazing, or, you know, and just, you know, take his time a little bit in patches, because he's going to get tired. When you are a power puncher like that, you know, you can fall in love with your own power, and letting off big, hard, heavy shots, even when you're missing, which he was missing quite a lot, takes it out of you, because he was putting everything in. I mean, he just whipped that. That is a beautiful shot. All of his punches come with such leverage and velocity and speed and power, and it's just a thing of beauty, really. And he was timing Haney, even when he got caught with a 1-2 at one point. I'll try and pull the clip up. He got hit with a 1-2, still threw a looping left hook, and it just hit Haney on the head. But that's how dangerous he is. He's willing to take a couple of shots. He's a tough kid. And Haney, give respect to him, he fought bravely. He got up the canvas, 3 times, saw the final bell. But in all honesty, I don't know if he actually fully recovered from that first round. I know he got the fight under control, and I know he had like some, you know, clear rounds early on. Those are kind of expected, what I expected to happen, but I expected Haney to be more alert at Garcia's power, take that left hook away, which he wasn't really able to do at all, not stay in the pocket, not exchange, you know, suicide tactics really, for the most part, from Devin Haney. You know, that's probably the worst I've seen him. But is that because of Garcia? Don't sleep on Garcia. Fair play to him, you know. At the end of the day, he did what he had to do. And, I mean, he's victorious. Nobody wins the belt. I think that belt got vacated now. The WBC 140-pound belt, that's going to be interesting. That's a division that's wide open. There's going to be a lot of amazing fights in that division, and 154. So we'll see what happens, but I've probably missed some stuff in that fight. If you guys fill me in, because I watched it this morning, I watched it this morning, and I watched the highlights again quickly. But because there was so much going on, it's easy to miss some stuff. But I think ultimately, for me, the keys were, I think Garcia's ability to, you know, counterpunch with that left hook successfully, and at the same time as Haney's ability to not understand he's got to keep his hands up. If I was ever training Devin Haney for, if they ever have a rematch, and I'm his dad, I'm getting a duct tape, right? Getting duct tape around that right arm, and he's going to sleep in it for 2 months. He's not taking that duct tape off ever. It's just going to be there. So when you punch, you got that left hook right here, because he dropped his hands so many times. Very, very non-boxing like, you know, from a hit and not get hit fighter like Devin Haney. It was surprising to see the tactics and the times he was trying to exchange with the puncher, and he was trying to hook with him at times as well. He tried to hook with the hooker a couple of times. Suicide boxing. And that's what you get. You get clipped a bunch of times when you make these little errors that, for somebody like Devin Haney, I would expect better, to be honest with you. I would expect a lot better. You know, did he get thrown off by the build-up and Garcia's lack of preparation, supposedly? Did he take him for granted once he... Well, I don't know, because it didn't look like I said, he had that same level of intensity. Even Kambosos, I know Kambosos isn't a puncher, but the professionalism that he went into that fight, which he did with this fight, but in the ring when the bell went, he was walking that tightrope, not from a punching, I'm going to get it, just like I need to execute everything perfectly, you know? And he just didn't seem to have that same mentality in this fight, for me. So I was quite surprised. But was that down to Garcia closing it? You know, he's quite erratic, and he has some sort of level of speed about him. Obviously, his punches are speedy, but when he comes charging in, he has that fearlessness, which I like, you know? I like that about Garcia. I know he quit in his last fight against Tank, but was 2 fights before that. That was, you know, surprising, because, you know, he got off the canvas against Luke Campbell and fought bravely and came back and stopped him. It was a great performance, probably one of his best performances outside of this one. But look, let me know your thoughts, guys, in terms of what's next for Garcia. I mean, who knows? You know what I mean? It's risky fighting him in any circumstance outside of just the power and the athleticism and his fight-changing power. He's just got that athletic, freakish ability that can change a fight that you can't see. He gives a fighter, speaking about counterpunching, you know, they have this ability. I talked about that in that video. They have this ability to read everything. Everything slows down, but when it's with Garcia, it doesn't slow down that much because he lets his punches go so quickly and he's able to zing those shots in. So your hand-eye coordination has to get put to its fullest, and even then, it's still, you're at risk. And Devin Haney didn't seem to have that alertness, but I don't know. I think there's some big fights at 140. Him with any of the champions, obviously him against Tio would be a car crash of a build-up. Him against Pitbull, Rolly, some like pretty wild fights at 140. Let's be honest. In terms of Devin Haney, I don't know what he's gonna do. If I was him, I would try to get a rematch. But if you are gonna rematch him, you have to get some sort of contractual major stipulations so the weight does get met, because honestly that obviously played a factor in it a little bit. You know, it's just a crazy fight, bizarre build up, bizarre, you know, outcome. Shout out to anybody that picked Garcia on points. Hopefully you won some money. Good luck to you. And, you know, hopefully you guys got to enjoy the fight. I'm going to get this video out. I've got a ton of videos coming out today and tomorrow. Hopefully today. I'll talk about that Bud fight. I've got the video on Tim Tszyu's offense I'm going to be working on today. Hopefully I'll get that out tomorrow. I've got this Nikita Tszyu preview fight. I think he's fighting Wednesday. I've been watching a bit of footage on that Italian guy he's fighting, but interesting fight. It should be a good matchup for Tszyu because he'll get him to box a little bit. And I've also got the Cypriel Matias clinch video that's coming out in probably middle of next week. I want to just say thank you to all the new subscribers as well. Peace and love to you. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it, but as always, it's got to come from here. I'm out. Have a great weekend.